Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Fluency. I am so happy to see you here again. I am your host, Alex, and today we have a really fantastic extended lesson prepared for you. Think about this for a second. Have you ever been talking to someone, maybe a friend or a colleague, and you really wanted to leave the conversation or hang up the phone, but you just didn't know how to do it politely? It felt a little awkward, right? You didn't want to be rude, but you also didn't want to stay there talking forever. Well, today is all about fixing that problem. We are going to look at B1 English listening practice, but with a very specific focus. We are going to understand closing signals in conversations so you know exactly how discussions end naturally. This is going to be a deep dive into the social art of saying goodbye, making you sound so much more fluent and so much more confident in your English speaking. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right into the world of natural English endings. When we are learning English, we spend a lot of time on greetings. We learn hello, hi, how are you, but we often forget about the goodbye. The goodbye is actually the most important part because it is the last thing people remember about the conversation. If you end a conversation awkwardly, people might feel confused. But if you end it smoothly, using the right signals, you leave a great impression. Today, we are going to listen to several conversations between different people, and I am going to break them down for you piece by piece. We will look at the little phrases, the changes in voice tone, and the specific words that tell us the chat is coming to an end. Let's start by imagining a very common situation. You are walking down the street, and you bump into someone you haven't seen in a while. You stop to chat, but after a few minutes, you need to keep going. How do you signal that? Let's listen to our first conversation between two friends, Marcus and Jenny. They meet at a bus stop. Listen carefully to how the conversation shifts from catching up to saying goodbye. See if you can hear the moment where Marcus decides he needs to leave. "Hey, Marcus! Oh my goodness! Is that you?" Jenny shouted with a big smile on her face. Marcus turned around, looking surprised, but happy. "Jenny! Wow, it has been ages. How have you been?" he asked. They hugged quickly. "I have been great, really busy with the new job. But good," Jenny said. "What about you? Last time I heard, you were moving to a new apartment." Marcus nodded. "Yeah, I finally moved in. It is chaotic, but I love it. Anyway, I was actually just running to the grocery store before they close," Marcus said, glancing at his watch. "Oh, of course. Don't let me keep you," Jenny replied immediately. "It was really good to see you, though." "You too, Jenny. Let's catch up properly soon. Maybe grab a coffee?" Marcus suggested. "I'd love that. Text me," Jenny said. "Will do. See you later," Marcus said as he started walking away. "Bye," Jenny waved. "Okay, did you catch it?" There was a very specific moment there where the energy changed. They were talking about the apartment, and then Marcus used a magic word. He said, "Anyway." This is one of the most common close-in signals in the English language. When you say, "anyway," it acts like a bridge. It tells the other person, "I enjoyed hearing about your job, but I am ready to switch topics now." Usually, after "anyway," a person will state a reason for leaving, like Marcus did when he said, "I was actually just running to the grocery store." This is a polite excuse. It is not necessarily a lie, but it is a way to justify ending the chat. Now, let's look at Jenny's response. She was listening carefully. When Marcus gave the signal, she didn't ignore it. She didn't keep talking about the apartment. She immediately accepted it. She said, "Oh, of course, don't let me keep you." This is a perfect response. It shows she understands social cues. She also used a closing phrase herself. "It was really good to see you, though." The word "though" at the end is very soft and friendly. It wraps up the interaction nicely. Then they made a future plan. "Let's catch up properly soon," which is a gentle way to exit without feeling like you are abandoning the person. You are promising to connect again later. Let's take a moment to practice some of these phrases together. I want you to repeat them after me in your head, or say them out loud if you can. Try to use a friendly, relaxed voice. "Anyway, I should get going." Say it again. "Anyway, I should get going." Good. Now try. "Well, look at the time. I really must run." "Well, look at the time. I really must run." Excellent. Now, a polite one. "I won't keep you any longer." "I won't keep you any longer." And one more. "It was great seeing you, but I better let you go." "It was great seeing you, but I better let you go." See how natural that feels? These are your tools. Keep them in your pocket. Let's try another scenario. This one is a bit different. It is a phone conversation. Phone calls can be tricky because you can't see the other person's face or their body language. You have to rely entirely on your ears. You have to listen for those changes in tone. In this conversation, we have David and Sophie. David called Sophie to ask about a homework assignment, but now the chat is going on a bit too long. Listen to how David uses his voice to signal he is ready to hang up. "So, basically, the professor said, we just need to summarize chapters 4 and 5, Sophie explained. "Oh, that is easier than I thought," David replied. "Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. Did you see the game last night?" Sophie asked, changing the subject. "I did. It was incredible," David said enthusiastically. They talked about the game for another 5 minutes. Then there was a short pause. David cleared his throat and said, "Well, look, Sophie, it is getting late here, and I still have to finish that summary." "Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't realize the time," Sophie said. "No problem at all," David laughed softly. "I better let you go so you can rest." "Thanks, David. Good luck with the homework." "You too. Speak soon," David said. "Bye," Sophie replied, and the line clicked off. Did you hear the difference there? They were in the middle of a fun topic, the game. The energy was high. But then David needed to stop. He didn't just say bye. He used a phrase that acts like a door opening to leave the conversation. He said, "Well, look." Just like, "Anyway." "Well, look" is a signal. It prepares the listener for a change. Then he gave his reason. "It is getting late here." Notice he took the blame on himself. He didn't say, "You are talking too much." He said, "I still have to finish that summary." He also used a very polite phrase, "I better let you go." This is such a nice English expression. It sounds caring. It sounds like you are doing the other person a favor by letting them off the phone. It is much softer than saying, "I have to go." Sophie's response was also perfect. She apologized. "Sorry, I didn't realize the time," even though it wasn't really her fault. It is just a polite habit. She accepted the close-in signal immediately. This is the key to a natural discussion end. When someone sends a closing signal, you must catch it and pass it back. Do not start a new story. If David had said, "I better let you go," and Sophie had said, "Oh, by the way, did you hear about Sarah?" that would have been awkward. that would have ignored the signal. So, listening is not just about understanding words, it is about understanding the intention behind the words. Now, let's move to a slightly more formal situation. Maybe you are at work, or you are talking to a teacher, or a neighbor you don't know very well. The language changes a little bit. It becomes a bit more polite, but the signals are still there. Let's listen to a conversation between Mr. Henderson, who is an older neighbor, and Emily, a young woman who lives next door. Emily is checking on him, but she needs to get back to work. The garden looks absolutely wonderful this year. Mr. Henderson, Emily said, looking at the colorful flowers. Thank you, Emily. I have been spending a lot of time on the tomatoes especially, he said proudly. They look delicious. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I know you are busy, Emily said, stepping back slightly. Mr. Henderson smiled. It was lovely of you to stop by. I just wanted to say hello. I have to head back to my home office now. I have a meeting in 10 minutes, Emily explained. Of course, off you go. Don't work too hard, Mr. Henderson said. I will try not to. Have a wonderful afternoon, Emily waved. You too, my dear, he replied. In this conversation, Emily used a very clear and polite signal right away. Even while giving a compliment, she started the exit process by saying, Well, I won't keep you any longer. This is a classic phrase. It shows respect for the other person's time. It implies that you know they are important and busy. Even though Mr. Henderson was just gardening, she treated his time as valuable. This is very common in British and American English culture. We often say, I don't want to keep you, or I won't take up any more of your time. It makes you sound considerate. She also gave a specific reason. I have a meeting in 10 minutes. Specific reasons are better than vague ones. If you just say, I have to go, people might worry something is wrong. But if you say, I have a meeting, or I have to pick up my kids, it relaxes the situation. It makes the ending feel final and safe. Mr. Henderson accepted this with a lovely response. Off you go. This is a warm, friendly way to say, goodbye, you are free to leave. It is very encouraging. So, when you are practicing, remember these little phrases. They act like grease on a wheel. They make the interaction move smoothly without any friction. Now, I want to talk about something a little bit more advanced. Sometimes, you are in a group conversation, or maybe you are at a party. Ending a group conversation is different because you have to say goodbye to more than one person, and you don't want to break the flow of the group. Let's imagine a scenario with 3 friends, Chris, Rachel, and Tom. They are at a coffee shop. Chris has to leave, but Rachel and Tom are staying. Listen to how Chris exits without making the whole thing stop. I am telling you, that movie was terrifying. Tom laughed, taking a sip of his coffee. I would have been hiding behind my seat the whole time, Rachel added. Oh, you definitely would have, Chris agreed. He checked his phone and then looked at his friends. Hey guys, I hate to eat and run, but I have to get to the gym before it closes, Chris said, starting to gather his things. No worries, Chris, Tom said. We are probably going to stay here for another hour. Yeah, enjoy your workout, Rachel smiled. Thanks. I'll text you guys later, Chris said, standing up. Sounds good. See ya, Tom waved. Bye, Chris, Rachel called out as he walked to the door. Did you hear that great idiom? I hate to eat and run. This is a fantastic, very natural phrase to use when you are leaving a social gathering. especially if food or drinks are involved. It acknowledges that you are leaving in the middle of the fun. It shows a little bit of regret, which is polite. You are saying, "I wish I could stay, but I can't." He also gave a concrete reason: get to the gym. Importantly, Tom and Rachel signaled that it was okay for him to leave. Tom said, "We are probably going to stay here for another hour." This is a release signal. It tells Chris, "We are fine, don't worry about us, the fun continues." This makes Chris feel less guilty about leaving. When you are the one staying and someone else leaves, saying something like, "I'll see you later," or "Stay for a bit longer if you want," helps the transition. But if they have already started packing their bag, it is best to just wish them well. Don't try to convince them to stay unless you really, really need to. Usually, when someone stands up and checks their phone, the decision has been made in their head. They have already left the conversation mentally. They are just telling you about it now. Let's look at another scenario. This one is about a conversation that is maybe a little bit boring, or you just aren't clicking with the person. You want to end it gently without hurting their feelings. This is a high-level skill. We have two people, Sarah and Liam, who met at a park. They don't know each other very well. The conversation is running dry. Listen to how Sarah uses soft closing signals to escape. "So, do you come here often?" Liam asked for the third time. Sarah smiled politely. "Sometimes, on weekends. It is very peaceful," she answered. "Yes, very peaceful," Liam agreed. There was a long, awkward silence. Sarah looked around and then took a deep breath. "Well, Liam, it was really nice meeting you," she said, her voice slightly louder and firmer. "You too, Sarah," Liam said. "I actually have a few errands to run on the other side of town, so I'd better get moving," Sarah explained, taking a step back. "Oh, sure, no problem," Liam nodded. "Enjoy the rest of your day," Sarah said. "You too," Liam replied. This was a bit trickier because there wasn't a natural flow to interrupt. The conversation was dying. Sarah had to revive it just to kill it. She used the summary signal. She said, "Well, Liam, it was really nice meeting you." This is a definitive closing statement. It summarizes the interaction. It basically means, "We are done now." She didn't ask a question after that. She made a statement. If she had asked a question, it would have kept the conversation going. But by saying, "It was nice meeting you," she closed the door. She also gave a vague but firm reason. A few errands to run. She didn't say what errands. She didn't need to. The phrase, "I'd better get moving," is very active. It suggests urgency. She also used body language in the description, taking a step back. In real life, your feet will point towards where you want to go. If you want to leave, point your feet towards the exit. People subconsciously read this, so remember, if you are stuck in a boring chat, you can use the summary signal. "It was lovely talking to you." Then follow it immediately with an action statement. "I have to head off now." We should also talk about how to end a conversation when you are the one receiving the call. Maybe someone calls you, and you are busy, or you just can't talk right then. How do you cut it short without being rude? Let's listen to a conversation between a grandmother, Nana Rose, and her grandson Lucas. Nana Rose loves to talk, but Lucas is at work. "Hello?" Lucas answered the phone quietly. "Lucas, it is your Nana Rose. How are you doing, darling?" she asked happily. "Hi, Nana. I'm good, but I'm actually at work right now," Lucas whispered. "Oh, at work? I can call back later," she said. "No, it's okay. I just have a minute," Lucas said. "Okay, well, I just wanted to tell you about the cat. He climbed a tree yesterday," she started. Lucas listened for a moment. "That sounds funny, Nana. Look, I'm sorry, but my boss is walking over right now. I have to go," Lucas said quickly. "Oh, go ahead. Don't get in trouble," Nana Rose said. "Thanks. Love you. Talk soon," Lucas said. "Love you too. Bye," she said. Lucas used an external force to end the call. "My boss is walking over." This is the ultimate excuse. It is an emergency that the other person understands and respects. You can't argue with a boss. He also apologized. "Look, I'm sorry." Saying sorry when you end a conversation quickly softens the blow. It shows you care. Even if you aren't actually sorry, it is just a polite social lubricant. Nana Rose was very understanding, but that is because Lucas was clear. He didn't just hang up. He gave a warning and a reason. So far, we have looked at friends, phone calls, neighbors, groups, awkward chats, and busy situations. But what about business? In a professional setting, the endings are usually more structured. There is often a clear agenda, and when the agenda is done, the meeting is done. However, you still need to be polite. Let's listen to a meeting between a manager, Ms. Green, and a client, Mr. Lee. "I think we have covered all the main points regarding the project timeline," Ms. Green said, closing her notebook. "Yes, I feel very confident about the deadline now," Mr. Lee replied. "Excellent. If there are no other questions, I think we can wrap things up here," Ms. Green suggested. "None from me. Thank you for your time," Mr. Lee said, standing up. Ms. Green stood up as well and extended her hand. "Thank you, Mr. Lee. I will send you the email summary this afternoon." "Perfect. I look forward to it. Have a great day," Mr. Lee said, shaking her hand. "You as well. Goodbye," Ms. Green said. Here, Ms. Green used a very professional phrase. "If there are no other questions, I think we can wrap things up here." Wrap things up is a common idiom in business, meaning to finish or conclude. It sounds efficient. She didn't say, "I want to leave." She said, "We can wrap things up," which implies that they have achieved their goal, and the natural end has arrived. Mr. Lee accepted this by standing up. Body language is crucial in business. The moment the notebooks close and people stand up, the meeting is over. The handshake is the final seal. It is a physical closing signal. I want to give you a little tip now about tone of voice. The words are important, but your voice is what carries the meaning. When you are ready to end a conversation, your voice usually goes down in pitch at the end of the sentence. It becomes more definitive. Instead of going up like a question, it goes down like a statement. Try saying, "I have to go," with a high pitch, like a question. "I have to go?" It sounds unsure. It sounds like you are asking for permission. Now say it with a lower pitch. "I have to go." It sounds firm. It sounds like a decision. Practice dropping your pitch slightly when you use your closing signals. It makes you sound more confident and native. Let's try one more complex scenario. This is a situation where you are visiting someone's house. This is maybe the hardest one to navigate because you are a guest in their space. You don't want to overstay your welcome, but you also don't want to leave too early and seem rude. You have to read the room. Let's listen to Tom and Chloe. Tom is visiting Chloe's new apartment. "And this is the balcony," Chloe said, opening the sliding door. "Wow, the view is amazing, Chloe," Tom said. "It is really nice at sunset," Chloe said. They stood there for a moment. Tom yawned, accidentally covering his mouth. "Oh, excuse me," he laughed. "Long day?" Chloe asked. "Yeah, a bit. I actually have an early start tomorrow," Tom said, turning back towards the living room. "I understand," Chloe said kindly. "It was so lovely to have you over, Tom." "Thanks for having me. Your place looks great," Tom said. "I'm glad you liked it. Let me walk you to the door," Chloe said. "Thanks." Tom used a combination of signals here. First, a biological signal. He yawned. Then, a verbal signal. "I have an early start tomorrow." This is the universal code for "I want to go to bed." Chloe picked up on it immediately. She didn't say, "Oh, stay for another hour." She accepted it and even helped the process by saying, "Let me walk you to the door." She initiated the physical exit. When you are a guest, you can wait for the host to suggest walking you out, or you can say, "Well, I should head out so you can get back to your evening." It takes the pressure off the host. Now that we have listened to many different examples, I want to talk about what happens after the goodbye, the post-goodbye ritual. This is the part where you are walking away, or hanging up the phone, but you still say a few more words. In English, we rarely just say goodbye and stop. We have a trail. For example, "Bye, see ya, take care, have a good one." We layer these phrases. If you listen to two native speakers parting ways, it often sounds like this. "Okay, see you later." "Yeah, see you." "Bye." "Bye." "Take care." "You too." It echoes. It fades out. Don't be afraid of this echo. It feels natural. If you just say goodbye and turn your back instantly, it can feel cold. Let the conversation fade out gently. It is like turning down the volume knob on a radio, rather than just switching it off. So, when you are practicing, don't stop at the first goodbye. Add one more phrase. "Goodbye, have a nice evening." "Okay, bye." It makes a big difference. Now, let's go a step further. Let's start by talking about a situation that happens to everyone. You are stuck in a conversation with someone who loves to talk. We call this a chatty person. They are telling you a long story, and you are enjoying it, but you really, really need to leave. Maybe your bus is coming, or you have a meeting starting in 2 minutes. How do you interrupt them without being rude? This is a high-level skill. It requires you to listen for a pause and then jump in quickly, but gently. Let's listen to a conversation between two colleagues, Ben and Olivia. Olivia is telling Ben about her weekend, but Ben is late for a training session. "So, we drove to the lake, and the car almost broke down on the highway. Can you believe that?" Olivia said, her eyes wide. "Oh no, that sounds stressful," Ben said, looking at his watch nervously. "It was, but then we got there, and the water was so cold. We went for a swim, and then my brother dropped his sandwich in the sand." Olivia continued. Ben waited for her to take a breath. "Olivia, I am so sorry to interrupt," Ben said gently, raising his hand slightly. "That story sounds hilarious, and I really want to hear the end of it. But I have to run to a training session right now, or I am going to be late." Olivia stopped and smiled. "Oh, of course. Go, go. We can talk later." "Thanks, Olivia. Catch you later," Ben said as he speed-walked away. Did you hear how Ben handled that? He didn't just walk away. He used a very polite interruption phrase, "I am so sorry to interrupt." This is like a soft cushion. It softens the blow of stopping her story. Then he validated her. He said, "That story sounds hilarious, and I really want to hear the end of it." This is so important. It tells her, "I am not leaving because I am bored or I don't like you. I am leaving because I have to, and I actually care about what you are saying. This makes the other person feel good, even though you are cutting them off. Then he gave a strong reason. I have to run to a training session. Notice he used run instead of go. Run implies urgency. It makes it sound more important. Olivia's reaction was great because she understood that he validated her. Let's try another similar scenario, but this time it is on the phone. When you are on the phone, you can't see the person's face, so interrupting can feel even harder. You have to use your voice to show that you are still interested, even though you are hanging up. Let's listen to a chat between an uncle, Uncle Joe, and his nephew, Liam. Uncle Joe is retelling an old war story, and Liam has a lot of homework to do. And so we walked 10 miles in the snow just to get to the nearest town. Uncle Joe's voice boomed over the phone. Wow, 10 miles? That is crazy, Uncle Joe, Liam said, trying to sound interested while looking at his pile of books. It was, but the best part was when we found the diner. They had the best apple pie, Uncle Joe went on. Liam took a deep breath. Uncle Joe, I hate to cut you off, Liam said into the phone. You know I love hearing your stories, but I have a massive history exam tomorrow, and I really need to study for a few hours. Oh, a history exam. Well, why didn't you say so, Liam? Uncle Joe laughed. Go study. School comes first. Thanks, Uncle Joe. I will call you on the weekend, okay? I want to hear the rest of the pie story, Liam promised. All right, son. Good luck. Thanks. Bye, Liam said, and hung up. Liam used a fantastic phrase here. I hate to cut you off. Cut you off is a common idiom meaning to stop someone while they are talking. It is very honest. He admitted that he was stopping the story. But again, look at what he did next. He said, You know I love hearing your stories. This is the sandwich technique. You sandwich the bad news, I have to go, between two good things. I love your stories / I will call you on the weekend. This is the secret formula for a smooth exit with a talkative person. Compliment, exit, future promise. If you remember those 3 steps, you will never feel rude leaving a conversation again. Now, let's move to a different type of closing. Sometimes you are not leaving because you have to go somewhere. Sometimes you are leaving because the conversation has reached a natural end. The energy has dropped. You have talked about everything you can talk about. This is called a natural lull. If you stay too long in a lull, it becomes awkward. You need to recognize when the well is dry. Let's listen to 2 neighbors, Sam and Chloe, who are chatting on the sidewalk. They have exhausted the topic of the weather. So, looks like the rain is stopping, Sam said, looking up at the sky. Yeah, finally. It was coming down hard, Chloe agreed. They both stood there for a moment, looking at the wet ground. Yes, Sam nodded. Well, Chloe started, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. Well, I guess I should get back to my house, Sam said. Yeah, me too. Nice seeing you, Sam, Chloe smiled. You too, Chloe. Have a good afternoon, Sam said. You too, Chloe replied, and they both turned to walk to their separate houses. This conversation was full of silence and short sounds like, and, yeah. This is a sign that the topic is finished. The conversation was circling the drain. They both felt it. Chloe started her sentence with, well, and then dragged it out. That rising intonation on well is a huge closing signal. It means, I am thinking of leaving. Are you okay with that? Sam picked up on it immediately. He didn't try to start a new topic about the rain or the ground. He agreed. He said, "I guess I should get back to my house." The word guess here is very soft. It shows he is leaving because there is nothing else to say, not because he hates her. It is a mutual decision. Recognizing these silences is a key part of B1 listening. If you hear a long pause and someone says, "Well," get ready to say goodbye. Let's look at a situation where you are in a group, but you are only friends with one person there. You don't really know the other people. You want to leave the group, but you want to be polite to everyone. This requires you to address the whole group, not just your friend. Let's listen to a scenario at a coffee shop. Sarah is with her friend Mike, and Mike's two co-workers, Dave and Jenny. Sarah doesn't know Dave and Jenny very well, and she feels a bit tired. "So, the quarterly reports are going to be crazy this month," Dave was saying to Mike. "Tell me about it," Mike laughed. Sarah smiled politely, but she checked her phone and saw it was late. She stood up slowly. "Hey, everyone," Sarah said softly. Mike looked over. "Hey, Sarah, everything okay?" "Yeah, I'm just going to head out," Sarah said, looking at all three of them. "It was really nice meeting you guys, Dave and Jenny." "Oh, nice meeting you too, Sarah," Jenny said. "Yeah, thanks for coming," Dave added. "I'll see you later, Mike," Sarah said to her friend. "Okay, see you, Sarah," Mike smiled. "Have a good night, everyone," Sarah waved. "Bye," they all chorused. Sarah did a wonderful job here. She didn't just whisper to Mike. She addressed the group. She said, "Hey, everyone." This gets their attention. Then she specifically acknowledged the people she didn't know well. "It was really nice meeting you guys." This is very polite and makes them feel included. Then she said goodbye to her friends separately. This is the polite way to exit a mixed group. If you just say bye to your friend and ignore the strangers, it can seem a bit cold. But by saying, "Nice meeting you," you leave a positive impression on everyone. Now, let's talk about something very modern. Text messaging. You might think listening practice doesn't apply to texting, but it does. Often, we have voice notes, or we are talking on the phone and then switch to text to end the conversation. Or we are texting and we want to stop. How do you end a text conversation politely? Many people just stop replying, which is called ghosting. And it is not polite. Let's listen, or rather, read, a text exchange between two friends, Leo and Maya. I will read their texts out loud so you can hear how they sound. Leo typed, "That movie was hilarious. I can't believe the hero jumped off the bridge." Maya typed back, "I know. It was so crazy. I laughed so hard I dropped my popcorn." Leo typed, "Same here. Anyway, I have to go help my mom with dinner now. Talk later?" Maya typed, "Sure, talk later. Enjoy dinner." Even in text, Leo used "anyway," and he used a question at the end. Talk later? This is a closing signal that invites a response, but also signals the end. Maya accepted it with a short, positive response. She didn't start a new topic. If she had said, "By the way, did you see the trailer for the next movie?" Leo would have been stuck. When ending a text chat, keep your last message short. Do not ask open-ended questions. Just confirm and close. Let's get back to speaking and listening. I want to talk about the promise. We touched on this before, but it is so powerful I want to mention it again. The best way to end a conversation is to make a plan to meet again. This turns the goodbye into a "see you soon." It changes the feeling from sad to happy. Let's listen to two old friends, Rachel and Mark, who bumped into each other at the supermarket. Mark! Oh my gosh, it has been years! Rachel exclaimed. Rachel! Wow, how are you? Mark gave her a hug. They caught up on their jobs and families for 5 minutes. Then Rachel looked at her full grocery cart. Mark, it is so good to see you, but I really need to get this ice cream home before it melts. Rachel laughed. Of course, go ahead, Mark said. We should really get coffee sometime soon and catch up properly, Rachel suggested. I would love that. Let me give you my number, Mark said. They exchanged numbers quickly. Okay, I will text you, Rachel said. Perfect. Great seeing you, Rachel, Mark said. You too, Mark. Bye. Did you hear how smooth that was? Rachel used the melting ice cream as a funny, relatable excuse. But the key was the suggestion. We should really get coffee sometime soon. This is a softener. It makes Mark feel like she still wants to talk to him, just not right now in the frozen food aisle. Mark contributed too by giving his number. He made the plan concrete. I will text you is a very common way to say goodbye now. It implies that the conversation will continue later, just on a different device. It is a very modern, natural closing signal. Let's try a slightly more difficult listening exercise now. This one involves background noise and fast speech, just like real life. Imagine you are at a busy train station. Two people, Tom and Lisa, are shouting a bit over the noise of a train arriving. They are colleagues who just finished a trip. I think this is my train, Tom shouted over the roar of the engine. Already? That was fast, Lisa shouted back, holding her ticket tight. I know. It was a great conference, though, Tom yelled. The best, Lisa smiled. Okay, I'll email you the report when I get to the office, Tom said, grabbing his bag. Sounds good. Safe travels, Tom. Lisa waved. You too. Bye. Tom jumped onto the train just as the doors were beeping. That was a rush goodbye. It happens in noisy places. The key here is speed. You don't have time for long sentences. You use short, punchy phrases. Safe travels is a wonderful phrase to use when someone is going on a trip. It is caring and professional. Tom also used a future action to close it. I'll email you the report. This is a work-focused closing signal. It means our business is done for now, but the work continues via email. It is a very practical way to end a business trip conversation. I want to take a moment to talk about the emotion behind the voice. Sometimes, a person wants to end the conversation, but they feel bad about it. You can hear it in their voice. It sounds a bit hesitant. They might say, "So?" Or they might repeat your name. Well, Alex, I guess I should go. When someone uses your name right before a goodbye, it is a sign of respect and affection, but it is also a sign that they are shifting gears. It is like they are anchoring the conversation to a close. It is a very subtle signal, but if you listen for it, you will hear it often. Let's practice another scenario. This time, you are the one who is staying, and someone else is leaving you. How do you handle it? You need to make it easy for them. You need to release them. Let's listen to a conversation between a teacher, Mr. Thompson, and a student, Anna. Anna is staying late to study, and Mr. Thompson is leaving for the day. Mr. Thompson, can you help me with this equation? Anna asked. Of course, Anna. Let me see. Mr. Thompson leaned over her desk. He explained it carefully. Oh, I get it now. Thank you so much, Anna said. You are very welcome. You are doing great, Mr. Thompson smiled. He looked at the clock on the wall. "All right, Anna. I am going to head out now. The office is closing," Mr. Thompson said gently. "Oh, okay. Thanks for your help, Mr. Thompson. Have a good evening," Anna said. "You too. Don't stay too late," Mr. Thompson advised. "I won't. Bye," Anna said. Mr. Thompson gave a clear signal. "I am going to head out now." He also gave a context reason. "The office is closing." Anna accepted it immediately. She didn't ask just one more question, which is a common mistake students make. If you want your teacher or your boss to like you, respect their closing signals. Say thank you and goodbye quickly. If you drag it out, they might not be as willing to help you next time. Anna's response was perfect because she released him. She didn't make him feel guilty for leaving. Now, let's talk about a slightly awkward situation. You are talking to someone, and you realize you have nothing in common. The conversation is really boring, and you just want to escape. You don't want to be mean, but you don't want to fake it anymore. This is where the general excuse comes in handy. You use a reason that is so general, no one can argue with it. Let's listen to a conversation between two strangers, Jack and Emily, waiting at a bus stop. "The weather has been strange lately, hasn't it?" Jack asked. "Yeah, I guess so," Emily replied, looking at her phone. "I read that it might rain next week," Jack continued. "Maybe. I don't really watch the weather," Emily said politely. Jack tried again. "Do you like sports?" Emily sighed quietly. She really just wanted to listen to her music. "Look, Jack, it was nice talking to you, but I actually have to make a quick phone call before my bus arrives," Emily said, holding up her phone. "Oh, sure, no problem," Jack said. "Thanks. Enjoy your evening," Emily said, turning away. Emily used the general excuse of making a phone call. She didn't say, "I don't want to talk to you." She invented a task that required her to stop talking. Holding up the phone was a visual cue, too. It created a barrier. Jack took the hint. He understood that the conversation was over. Sometimes you have to be a little bit direct to protect your own time. It is not rude to prioritize your own needs, as long as you say it with a smile. Like Emily did. Let's do one more role-play scenario together. This time focusing on a business dinner. This is a formal situation where the ending needs to be very graceful. You don't want to just stand up and leave the table. Imagine a client, Mr. Roberts, and a business owner, Sarah. They have just finished eating. "That dessert was absolutely delicious, Mr. Roberts," Sarah said. "It certainly was, Sarah. Thank you for recommending this restaurant," Mr. Roberts replied, wiping his mouth with a napkin. Sarah checked the time under the table. "I am so glad you enjoyed it. Now, I don't want to keep you from your family any longer," Sarah said, signaling for the waiter. Mr. Roberts nodded appreciatively. "You are very kind. I do have an early start tomorrow," he admitted. "Then let's get the check." "It has been a very productive evening," Sarah said. "Indeed. Thank you again, Sarah." "Good night," Mr. Roberts said as he stood up. "Good night, Mr. Roberts," Sarah smiled. In a formal setting, Sarah used a very considerate phrase. "I don't want to keep you from your family." This is the ultimate polite excuse. It shows that you respect their personal life. In business, balancing work and life is important. By saying this, Sarah shows that she is understanding and modern. Mr. Roberts appreciated it. He didn't argue. He agreed that he had an early start. They both worked together to end the meal. It was a team effort, If you are in a formal dinner, wait for the host to signal the end. Or if you are the host, use the family or early morning excuse to let your guest go home. Now, let's start with a situation that involves a lot of emotion. Sometimes you are having a wonderful conversation. You are laughing. You are enjoying the moment, but the clock is your enemy. You absolutely have to leave, even though you don't want to. This is called the regretful goodbye. It requires a tone of voice that shows sadness about leaving. You want the other person to know that you aren't bored, you are just constrained by time. Let's listen to Liam and Sarah. They are sitting on a park bench, laughing at old stories. But Sarah realizes she is late for an appointment. "I swear, that was the funniest thing that ever happened to us," Liam said, wiping a tear from his eye. Sarah laughed too, but then she checked her phone and her face dropped. "Oh no, Liam, look at the time," she said, her voice sounding disappointed. "Is it really that late already?" Liam asked, looking at his own watch. "I am so sorry. I have to run to the dentist. I am going to be late as it is," Sarah said, standing up quickly. "That is okay, Sarah. Go. We don't want you to get in trouble," Liam said. "I know, but I was having such a great time. I really wish I didn't have to go," Sarah said sincerely. "Me too. Let's do this again soon, okay?" Liam stood up as well. "Absolutely. Text me when you are done," Sarah said. "I will. Bye." Sarah waved as she ran towards the street. Did you hear the emotion in Sarah's voice? When she saw the time, she didn't just say, "I have to go." She said, "Oh no," and "I am so sorry." This sets the emotional tone. It tells Liam, "I am enjoying this. External forces are pulling me away." The most powerful phrase she used was, "I really wish I didn't have to go." This validates the connection. It assures Liam that the conversation was a success. So, when you are having fun but must leave, don't hide your disappointment. Let it show. It makes the goodbye feel much warmer. Now, let's talk about a signal that happens before the actual goodbye. It is like a yellow traffic light. It tells you that the red light is coming. I call this the summary signal. This is when a person starts to repeat what has already been said. It is a way of mentally packing up the conversation. If you hear someone summarizing, you know that within 1 or 2 minutes, they will say goodbye. Let's listen to a business discussion between a manager, Mr. Evans, and his employee, Jenny. They are planning a project. "So, for the marketing part, we will focus on social media," Jenny said. "Correct. And the budget is finalized," Mr. Evans added. "Right. So, just to recap, we have the design ready by Monday, the budget approved, and the launch date set for Friday," Jenny listed. Mr. Evans nodded and closed his folder. "That sounds exactly right, Jenny. Good work today." "Thanks, Mr. Evans. I think that covers everything," Jenny said, picking up her pen. "It certainly does. I'll let you get back to your desk then," Mr. Evans said. "Great. Have a good afternoon." Jenny smiled and left the room. Listen closely to Jenny again. She said, "So, just to recap, this is the yellow light." She was not adding new information. She was organizing the information they already had. This is a subconscious signal that her brain is moving on. Mr. Evans recognized this immediately. He didn't add a new topic about social media. He agreed, closed his folder, and ended the meeting. When you hear "so," basically, or in short, you should prepare your closing phrases. The person is mentally checking out of the conversation. Let's move on to a very modern challenge. The video call goodbye. Whether it is Zoom, Skype, or FaceTime, ending a video call can be incredibly awkward. You can't just walk away. You have to click a button. And sometimes the technology freezes right at the end. Let's listen to a video call between two cousins, Emily and Tom. They live in different countries. "It was so good to see your face, Tom," Emily said, leaning into her camera. "You too, Em. How is the dog?" Tom asked. "He is sleeping right here. Look," Emily pointed the camera at a sleeping dog. "Oh, he is huge." "Okay, well, I better let you go. It is getting late there, isn't it?" Tom asked. "Yeah, almost midnight. I should probably sleep," Emily yawned. "All right then. Say hi to your mom for me," Tom said. "I will. Bye, Tom." Emily waved with both hands. "Bye, Emily." Tom waved back. Emily reached for the mouse. "Okay, bye." Clicking. "Bye." She pressed the button. The key here is the double wave and the repeated goodbye. On a video call, there is often a delay. You say bye, then there is a silence, then you say bye again, then you look for the button. It is okay to laugh about it. Notice how Tom used the "it's getting late there" signal. This is very considerate in different time zones. Also, look at the physical action. They both leaned in and waved. This is the digital version of walking someone to the door. Don't just hang up abruptly. Give a little wave, say the name one last time, "Bye, Tom," and then end the call. It feels much more personal that way. Now, I want to give you a strategy for a situation where someone else is trying to close the conversation, but you accidentally miss the signal. We all do it. We get excited and keep talking. But then we realize the other person is checking their watch or looking at the door. How do you recover? Let's listen to Jason and Maria. Jason is telling a story, but Maria has signaled she needs to leave, and Jason missed it. And then the car just stopped. "I couldn't believe it," Jason was saying excitedly. Maria had already taken a step back and looked at her watch, but Jason kept going. "Oh, wow," Maria said quietly. Jason finally noticed her body language. He stopped mid-sentence. "Oh, sorry, Maria. I am rambling on. You are looking at your watch? I should let you go." Jason laughed. "It is okay, Jason. I do have to pick up the kids." Maria smiled. "Of course. Go ahead. We can finish this story later," Jason said. "Thanks. Bye, Jason." Maria walked away quickly. Jason did a great job of saving the moment. He realized his mistake and caught himself. He admitted it. "I am rambling on." This is very humble and honest. He then handed the control back to her. "I should let you go." If you miss a signal, don't panic. Just acknowledge it, apologize briefly, and let them leave immediately. Do not try to finish the story. The story can wait. Respect the person's time. Let's try one more listening exercise. This one is a bit faster. It is a conversation between two people who are passing each other in a hallway. They only have a few seconds. These are called micro-conversations, and they have their own set of rules. You have to say hello and goodbye almost in the same breath. Let's listen to Ben and Olivia. "Hey, Ben, how is the project coming along?" Olivia asked as she walked quickly. "It is going well, almost finished," Ben replied, walking just as fast. "That is great news. Good luck with the deadline," Olivia said. "Thanks, Olivia. See you later." Ben smiled. "Bye," Olivia called out as she turned the corner. That was fast. In a micro-conversation, you don't need a long, "Well, I'd better be going." You don't have time. The closing signal is actually the wish of luck or the compliment. Olivia said, Good luck with the deadline. This serves as the closing. Ben responded with, see you later. You have to be efficient. In these moments, a big smile and a quick see ya are your best tools. Don't slow the other person down if they are walking fast. We have covered so much ground in this lesson. We started with simple signals like, anyway. We moved to interrupting, to handling groups, to regretful goodbyes, summaries, video calls, and micro-conversations. But now, I want to talk about the most important signal of all. It is not a word, it is silence. A comfortable silence at the end of a conversation is a beautiful thing. It means you have said everything you need to say. You are both content. Let's listen to an older couple, Arthur and Martha, sitting on their porch. They have been married for 50 years. They don't need many words. Arthur took a sip of his tea and looked out at the garden. Martha sat next to him, knitting. The birds were singing. The sun was setting. Arthur sighed happily. It is a beautiful evening, Martha, he said softly. It sure is, Arthur, she replied, smiling at him. Arthur nodded slowly. He stood up slowly. Well, he said. Martha stopped knitting and looked up at him. She smiled warmly. Well, she agreed. Arthur patted her shoulder gently. Good night, Martha. Good night, Arthur, she said. He went inside. That was it. Just one word. Well. But because they know each other so well, and because the timing was right, that one word was enough. It was a signal of peace. It was a signal that the day was done. While you are learning English, you will need more words than Arthur and Martha do. You will need phrases like, I'd better go, or it was nice seeing you. But your goal is to reach a level of comfort where you can read the silence and know when it is time to go. So, how can you practice all of this? The best way is to be an observer. When you are at the supermarket, at the gym, or on the bus, watch people. Watch how they say goodbye. Listen to the tone of their voice. Are they rushing? Are they lingering? Try to guess what their relationship is based on how they end the conversation. If they hug, they are close. If they shake hands, it is formal. If they just nod, it is casual. Another great tip is to record yourself. It might feel strange, but record yourself saying, anyway, I have to go. Listen to it. Do you sound friendly? Do you sound rushed? Try to soften your voice. Try to smile while you speak. Believe it or not, people can hear a smile in your voice. When you smile, your voice sounds warmer. If you frown while saying goodbye, you might sound angry or bored. So, put a smile on your face, even when you are hanging up the phone. I also want to encourage you not to worry too much about making mistakes. Sometimes you will be awkward. Sometimes you will say, goodbye, and then remember you forgot to tell them something important. And you will have to start the conversation again. It happens to native speakers all the time. We say, bye, and then, oh wait, one more thing. It is perfectly normal. Do not let the fear of being awkward stop you from practicing. The more you practice, the less awkward you will feel. Let's imagine one final scenario to wrap everything up. This is a party scene. There is music, there is noise, and you are saying goodbye to the host. This is the grand exit. You want to thank the host and leave a positive impression. Let's listen to Leo and his host, Sophie. Leo, I am so glad you could make it, Sophie shouted over the music. Thanks, Sophie. The party is amazing, Leo shouted back. I am glad you are having fun. Are you having a good time? Sophie asked. The best. But I have an early start tomorrow, so I am going to head out, Leo said. Oh, okay. Thanks for coming. Sophie gave him a quick hug. Thanks for inviting me. Say goodbye to David for me, Leo said. I will. Safe home, Leo. Sophie waved. Thanks. Bye. Leo waved and headed for the door. Leo kept it simple and positive. He complimented the party, gave a clear reason for leaving, and passed on a message to the husband who wasn't there. This is social fluency. He knew he didn't need to explain exactly why he had an early start. He just kept it light. Sophie's response, safe home, is a lovely, caring phrase used often in the UK and parts of the US. It is different from safe travels. It means get home safely. We have reached the end of our journey together for this topic. I hope you feel like you have a toolbox full of phrases now. You have, anyway. Well, I won't keep you. I'd better run. So, to recap, and it was nice seeing you. You know how to interrupt politely, how to handle a video call, and how to read body language. This is all part of being a fluent English speaker. Fluency is not just about grammar. It is about connecting with people. And knowing how to end a conversation respectfully is the best way to ensure that connection continues in the future. Thank you so much for watching this complete lesson on English in Fluency. I put a lot of work into this script to make it sound natural and helpful for you. If you have made it this far, you are serious about learning, and I admire that. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. It helps me make more videos like this. Also, I have a challenge for you. In the comments below, I want you to write a short dialogue where two people say goodbye. Use one of the signals we learned today, like the regretful goodbye or the summary signal. I will read as many as I can and tell you how natural it sounds. It would be great to see your creativity. Remember, language is a living thing. It changes and it breathes. Keep listening to native speakers, keep copying their rhythms, and keep speaking. Don't be afraid of the ending. Every ending is just a chance to say hello again later. I am Alex, and this was English in Fluency. You are amazing. Keep practicing, stay positive, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.